I'm going to be using QuickTime, one of my favorite applications, once again to just kind of go over what we talked about during our blended learning pod today. So, in order to make a Google drawing, we're going to go up there to New and More and Google Drawings. Now, as I always remind my students, make sure you give it a name to be able to find it later. If you're like Westendorf, you'll probably put it into a folder, but I'm not organized that way. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go to File and Page Setup. And where it says Standard here, we're going to go to Custom. Now, I want to have a vertical piece of paper, portrait style, so I'm going to do 8.5 by 11. If you want it landscape, it'd obviously be 11 by 8.5. I am unsure how to print on 11 by 17 papers, but we could figure that out with Mr. McCarville if that's something you're interested in. There's also a website, I think it's called blockposters.com, where we could actually make images and make it larger too, so it's an actual poster. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Okay, so we're going to go to OK. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our background. So we're going to right click. So you're going to hold down Control and click. You can choose your background here if you want to do that. Also, one of the cool things under here, you can also choose gradient, so it's not just a solid color. You can have it change a little bit. Then we are going to insert a text box. So you can go to Insert and Text Box, or the T is right here if you'd rather do it that way. I'm just going to have it fill up the whole page. I could change that later if I wanted to. Now, one of the kind of fun things that you can customize here is that you have your border weight, which means the thickness and the number of pixels, and then you can also do dots and dashes and things like that to make it look just a little, stand out just a little bit more. So I have that, and then I'm going to go in here, choose Arial. I know most of you are familiar with this, but if not, you can go to More Fonts, and there's hundreds of fonts in here that you can choose from. If they're blue, that means you already have them. I'm going to go with Poppins today. Okay, this is what I'm going to type with. Mine's going to be a homecoming dance. And that is very dark. So once I type it here, I'm going to, sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time. I'm going to highlight it. I can change my size here. I can also change the color of my font if I want to. And then here, I think I'm going to center it, just make it look a little bit better. And I want to spread it out a little bit more, so I'm going to have it double spaced. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a picture. You have several different ways to do that. You can go to your image here, search the web. The one that is more recommended, and I'm not 100% sure why, I think just because it gives you more options, is under Tools. You can go to Explore, and here, so I'm going to get a football since it's a homecoming dance. I'm going to click in there. I don't know why that keeps popping open. And then I can go to Images and find a picture. Now, there's lots of pictures, but I do want to remind you, and this is also good for your students to be good digital citizenships, we have royalty-free, copyright-free images through iClipArt, which is on the iowaAEAonline.org website. So if I go there, if you have to sign in, it's 1719 DENVEL, and the password is CRAEA, which stands for Central Rivers AEA. Okay, so if I type in football here, I have different images that pop up. If I wanted to go to Photos, I could find real pictures. There's lots of different things here. I want clip art though. So you're going to find a picture that you like. It doesn't really matter. You're going to click on Download. And you're going to choose a JPEG because we want it to be a picture format. I always choose the top one. It's up to you what you want to choose. Download, continue, and it's going to take, usually it takes a second to grow. So if it's only like halfway down, don't save it then because it'll only save half of the picture. Make sure you have your full picture. And right click again, which is Control click, Save Image As. I like to save things on my desktop. You know where you like to change your things. So you're going to save it. Okay, then we're going to go back to our drawing. We will go to Insert Image. We're going to upload it from our computer because that's where we saved it from. I'm going to open it there. Okay, so I have different options. So I can resize my picture. It keeps the same dimensions if you go in at an angle. You can move it around. The blue circle means that you can tilt it and things like that. One of the features that I don't use very often is the crop tool. So if I do crop image, it brings up these black squares. And I don't want those little footballs in the corner. I want to get rid of them maybe. Okay, push return, and then it cropped my picture for me. And then this is a cool one. I can also change the shape of it. So next to crop image, the drop-down menu says mask image, and I have different shapes that I can do with it. So if I want it to be in a heart shape, I click it, and it'll do it for me. So there's my picture. I can move it around however you want to. I want to show you one feature here. So if I take it up here, if you notice the red lines come up, that means I'm centered, I'm at the top. And I covered everything up, which is okay. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch it a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Arrange and Order, and I'm going to send it to the back. So now my words are on top of it. I can't see them because they're white and my image is white, but I can click on that and I can go to that text color and I can change my text color as well, which I can't see that very well either. I don't really want to waste your time watching me do this, but you can kind of play around with it. Okay, so there's that. And then there's another feature that we can go to. So I have shapes over here to the left of the text box. I'm going to add some 3 hearts in here just to show you a little something about arranging things. So I'm going to draw it. Now I don't want a blue background, so I have my fill color paint bucket here. I'm going to change it to white. I can also change the outside color of it if I wanted to. That's kind of up to you what you want to do. But it's perfect. This is what I want to look like. So I'm going to go Command D and duplicate it and stretch it out. And I'm going to duplicate that one too. Command D as in dog. Okay. Now I want these to be lined up nicely, and they're kind of slanted to the bottom there. So if I click on one and hold down Shift, I'm selecting them together, and then I'm going to go up here to Arrange, Align, and I'm going to do Top, and they're going to line up with that top heart, so they're all the same. Now they might not be completely distributed, so if I go up there too to Arrange and Distribute, I can do horizontally, in which moved it over a little bit to the left, and vertically they were lined up that way. Okay, now a kind of neat thing about this too, I move one. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. If I hold Shift down so they're all selected, then if I move one, they move together, which is a feature that I kind of like. And if I wanted here, I could put that T and I could put a text box in there and write something as well. Okay, so that was just a quick overview of Google Drawings and ways to make posters. If I want to save it, or print it, share it, we have different options. Obviously, I can share it with somebody so my whole team can have it. I can also download as a PDF, or I could do it as a JPEG. If you want to figure out how we can make a big poster of it, we would do the JPEG. And it will save wherever you decide to do that, and then you can print it off easily, or you can just print it from here as well. I hope that wasn't too much information, and if you have any questions, of course, ask me. Thanks.